Dragon Ball Z games usually have a certain type of formula to them. They usually just retell the Dragon Ball Z story and sprinkle in high over the top action mechanics. But what defines the Dragon Ball Z game is how well these fighting mechanics work. The Dragon Ball Z story has been told so many times, and by now if you don't know what's gonna happen next, it's like, what have you been doing for the past decade? That's why whenever a new Dragon Ball Z game releases, no one's like, oh wow, I can't wait to go through the story for the 50th time. So when I heard that an RPG was coming out focused on the Dragon Ball Z story, I was like, really? Another Dragon Ball Z game? Retelling the same story we had over 10 years. The only Dragon Ball Z that came out in recent times that was actually good for me was actually Xenoverse. And even that, even though they did their own thing, it wasn't really nothing new story-wise. I came into this Kakarot game thinking that Bandai Namco wouldn't really innovate anything, and that when it came down to the Dragon Ball Z story, they'll just skim through the important arcs and skip minor details. But boy, was I wrong. This game actually goes into many details, giving us a lot of character interactions that we never saw in the anime. For example, somewhere in the game, as you're playing through the Saiyan saga, you're going to see an interaction between Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta, and you get a vibe that Raditz is actually afraid of Nappa and Vegeta, and there's a kind of a hierarchy between the Saiyans. I kind of already knew that in a way Vegeta was like a boss or something, but it was cool to see like how the other Saiyans react towards him, especially Raditz, because Raditz doesn't really get a lot of character development inside the anime. I've only been playing the game for 4 hours, and in those 4 hours, I'm not even halfway done with the Saiyan saga. It just shows you how much story there actually is in this game. Usually in any typical other Dragon Ball Z game, 4 hours I'm probably already on the Buu saga. They even introduced the mini arcs. For example, the arc where Piccolo took Gohan to train while Goku was dead for a couple months. So overall, it's a lot of story that they put into this game. It's really crazy to see a Dragon Ball Z game actually do something this cool. Now we gotta talk about the little gripe I have with the game. It's the combat. The combat, in my opinion, is really going to take a lot of time to get used to. But taking into account that I'm in the early stage of the game, I haven't unlocked anything big, and I'm still on a very low level. But after playing Xenoverse for a couple of years, man, it feels like the combat in this game is really missing. Basically, the combat sums down to just pressing the circle button. If you press the circle button a couple of times, you'll eventually do a combo that knocks your opponent away. At the same time, as you press circle, you can combo other buttons and link certain combos. For example, if you were to press circle and then tap square, you would do a key blast knockaway. If you were to hit circle and then press triangle, you would do an explosive wave. And if you were to hit circle and press X, you would do a vanishing attack. So there's different ways you can combo these buttons, but overall they all pretty much do the same thing. There's no real depth. Like, you can't keep a high chain combo going on. You're gonna see me compare this game a lot to Xenoverse, but in Xenoverse the combo system is a little bit more in depth. You could do a lot more things in Xenoverse, and you can continue your combo to do like maybe almost 99 hits if you wanted to. But in this game, it kind of limits you to the amount of combos you can do. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about the best thing about this game, in the boss battle. I think this is the part where the game actually shines. There's a lot of thought and strategy that goes into these boss battles. You can't just come into a boss battle thinking you're gonna win by just smashing the circle button. Early in the game, you face off against Raditz, and this is where I found myself dying a lot too. Like, you know a boss is hard when you have to go on YouTube to figure out how to beat him. You actually have to manage your ki and evade Raditz's attacks, and at the same time guard all of his ki blast attacks. But however, the way the guard works in this game, you just can't spam guard. Eventually the boss can break your guard, leaving you wide open for attacks. I think a lot of thought went into the boss battles, and I do really appreciate it that it's not just generic boss battles where you can just breeze your way through. It actually takes a lot of time and skill to beat them. Just like every RPG, there's a lot of side quests you can do in this game. You have blue marks on the map, which will take you to characters that have certain missions they want you to do. They can stem from fetch quests and combat quests. And essentially after you beat them, you just get a bunch of EXP and a lot of crafting items. Nothing really new here, it's just kind of something to keep you busy while you play the game and help you grind for the upcoming bosses. The game's going to have you playing as a lot of different characters. You're not just playing as Goku throughout the whole story. And with that being said, the way customization works is a little bit different. First of all, I don't know who designed the menus, but this is just terrible. Like, getting through everything and fighting everything is kind of crazy. There's a lot of menus and sub-menus you have to go through just to customize your players. Overall, it's kind of simple if you can just find everything you need, but what I did and what you should do is probably go on YouTube and see someone explain it to you. But just for the quick rundown, you have communities. I'm not too sure what these does, but I believe if you put certain characters in communities, they learn certain skills and gain certain attributes as they level up. Also, you have techniques and skills that each character can learn. So like I said before, you're not just playing as Goku, you play as Gohan, Piccolo, and probably other characters as the story progresses. Each character gets their own unique skills, so you have these trees that you can unlock with, I think, orbs that you find around the map. You use those to unlock certain skills and techniques. Also, you can learn different techniques, as in like the Kamehameha, maybe the Spirit Bomb later on, and different skills. The way you learn these new skills is you go around the map looking for, I guess, combat training, and once you complete a certain mission or complete a certain objective, just gives you the move you want. So it's pretty straightforward with that. So that's gonna wrap up my first impression of the game. Once I finally beat the game, I will put up a review, but who knows how long that's gonna take me, because with all the side quests and all the detail in the story that there is in this game, I'm thinking it's gonna take me like 30 or 40 hours just to complete. But overall, it's a pretty okay game, and I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be up there for my top 10 Dragon Ball Z game. Anyways, the game's been out for a couple days, so I know most of you already have it, so leave your thoughts and opinions on the game in the comment section down below. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, and if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We got more videos planned out in the upcoming week, so stay tuned, and remember, at the end of the day, it's all just a game.